Hey, good morning. How are you all? Welcome to Soaring Solo with Stacy. For those of you that don't know, Soaring Solo is a community of single mothers who are trying to rise above society's expectations and create a better life for ourselves and our children. So welcome. If that is you, so glad you're here. If that is not you, I just want to clarify, if you are not a single mom, you're still welcome. Okay, I just wanted to say that. But we do gear things towards single moms, so maybe you get something out of it, maybe you won't. If you are not a single mom and you'd like to share it with some other single moms, or even if you are a single mom and you want to share it with other single moms, that's awesome too. We would love that. Share the video, tag people in it, join our group. We would love to have you be part of our community. So I want to talk today about I know who I am. We're going to talk about your identity. And this is super important because who we think we are and who we are not always the same thing. And who we think we are can have a profound impact not only on our lives, but on our children's lives as well. So who do you think you are? Do you know who you are? Our perception is our reality. So when we think we are something, that is how we behave. That is how we respond. That is how we make decisions. So knowing who you are and deciding who you are is so important. Okay? We talk a lot about thoughts and words and actions, and that knowing who you are affects all of that. So I want you to take a minute and think about, how do you think about yourself? What do you think about you? I'm going to throw out a couple of things that maybe you've struggled with and maybe I've struggled with. That's probably where I got them, and how we need to see ourselves instead. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is I am afraid. Have you ever been scared? There's so much fear in the world right now that I don't know that there's any of us that can't say at one point or another in the last year and a half we haven't said we were fearful. And being afraid is so inhibiting. It stops you from doing so much. We are not supposed to have fear. If you read the Bible, it says do not fear like 365 times. I think it's like once for every day of the year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure God doesn't want us to be afraid. All right. So we have to get rid of that fear mentality. It's super important. I don't know. Let me just tell you a little something about me. I am not the most adventurous person on the earth. Okay, I'm not. I don't like scary things. I'm very selective. Years ago, when I went to the Bahamas for the first time, I was pretty young, in my 20s, I want to say. My friends that I went with were going parasailing, and I was scared to death. Like, I don't really have a fear of heights, but you're dangling up there in the air. I was like, oh no, I'm not doing this. That it wasn't just that. It was like you have to run off the side of a boat, and like I'm going to end up tripping over something. I'm not the most graceful person. There's another thing that I think about myself. Like, this is going to end embarrassing. I am not doing this. Well, they went parasailing and I didn't, and I was kind of bummed about it. Well, so here's the thing. After a couple of days, we had the opportunity to go parasailing again. This time, the people that were doing the parasailing, we didn't have to run off. We just got lifted up. And I thought, oh, maybe I can do that. But again, my fear crept in. And I said, oh, you're going to be dangling in the air. That's still a little scary. And what if it doesn't lift you? Ladies, can we just talk about that? The fear of our weight inhibiting. Maybe I'm the only one. That stops me from doing a lot of things. Well, I finally said, this is crazy. I may never get this opportunity again because, in my 20s, I felt like my life was almost over. Like, if I'm going to do fun stuff, I have to do it now because eventually I'm going to be boring and old. So I finally sucked it up and I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And I went parasailing. And let me tell you, it was the most amazing experience ever. If you've never gone parasailing, you should totally do it. It's awesome. Awesome. Okay? I overcame that fear. I want you to think about what fears you need to overcome. Now, don't be stupid. All right. There is a healthy fear that's out there. You don't run into the middle of the street or the highway without looking because you're going to get hit by a car. Don't be stupid. That's not being courageous, that's being dumb, all right? We have to know our limitations, but we fear over so many things that we should not. Stop and own that courageousness. Change your I am afraid to I am courageous. Think about this. Has somebody already done it? Like lots of people have gone parasailing and they've survived it. So why was I so scared? Think about that. Has somebody already done what you're scared to do? Sometimes it's just a matter of saying, okay, I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. This is going to be scary, but I'm going to do it afraid. All right. And here's the thing, single mamas, your kids are watching you. And when you are courageous, they will be courageous. When you are afraid, they will be afraid. So who are you? Are you afraid or are you courageous? How about I am not enough? Have you ever thought that? Oh, Lord, I think that a lot. I'm not good enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not wealthy enough. I'm not enough. We are never going to be perfect. Let's just start with that. Perfection is not going to happen. But you can be enough and not be perfect. Okay? Perfection, absolutely not possible. This is part of personal growth. If you don't think you're enough, then maybe you just need to be a little better. If you don't think you're thin enough, maybe you just need to work on getting healthy. If you don't think you're smart enough, maybe you need to go learn something. You're never too old to learn. And we live in a world of information that's always out there, right? We have information at our fingertips. YouTube is amazing. Google, unbelievable. Or I use DuckDuckGo, but that's just me. Read a book, for the love of all that's holy. Right? You are going to learn something. If you spent your drive time, I just heard this the other day, you spent your drive to work, the average American, if they, in the car, on the way to and from work, spent that time listening to a podcast or something where they would learn, you would have the equivalent of a college education in 3 years. Yeah, for real, right? Think about that. Go learn something. Anyway, what is it that you think you're not enough? How can you become better? And are you really not enough, or are you selling yourself short? Change your mindset. I am everything I need to succeed. God has put everything in me that I need to be successful. You are a good enough mom. You are a good enough person at your job, whatever you do. You are good enough. You are enough. How about I'm damaged goods? This was a big one for me. I had spent a lot of my younger years doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have done. Things that I'm quite frankly embarrassed by. Things that I'm absolutely not proud of. And I came out of that situation and thought, damaged goods. Nobody who's worth anything is ever going to want me. Nobody who is where I want to be is going to want to even talk to me. I am not worth it. Okay? I am damaged goods. I had a serious struggle with that. It was very difficult. And I think a lot of single moms in particular struggle with this because like we're all different situations, but a lot of times when you have a severe breakup, it makes you feel like you're damaged. If that's you, you're not alone. Okay. I still have to talk myself out of that. I am not damaged goods. I made mistakes. I did. We all make mistakes. How about that? But my mistakes didn't make me. Okay. They taught me something, and I am a different person now because I've learned from them. Your mistakes, can I just stress to single moms, your mistake does not make your child a mistake. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. My child was a big surprise, but he was the best surprise I ever had. He was not a mistake. I made a mistake. God made a miracle. It's crazy how that works. So be careful when you talk about your mistakes in your past, how your children will interpret that. They're not a mistake. They're here on purpose. They have a purpose too. You get a do-over, y'all. That's the thing. All the mistakes that you've made in your past, you get to start over today. if today is the day, then today is the day. Maybe you've already started over. Yay for you. You're ahead of the game. But you can start over right now. You don't have to be the person that made those mistakes before. Again, this is where that personal growth comes in. That's where deciding that you're going to be better. So instead of being damaged goods, you're a new creation. You're starting over. You have a whole new life ahead of you. So you don't have to be that anymore. Leave your past in your past. And when I say that, don't forget the lessons you've learned, because those are important. And sometimes it's important to share those lessons. I talk about my mistakes all the time, not because I want to dredge them up, but because I want someone else to learn from them. Don't make the mistakes I did. I'm trying to save you the pain that I went through, right? So I leave my past in the past, but I don't forget the lessons that I learned. I don't carry the cross anymore. I don't have to. Okay? I'm getting all weepy. So, you are enough. You are not damaged goods. Okay? Sorry. It's going to be one of those days, I think. I hope you know who you are. You are important. You are worth it. You guys have a great week.